right, good morning, everyone. I'm going to stand over here for the virtual people. Good morning. If everybody can, get your coffee and we'll get started. Let's take a seat. But thank you, everybody who's joining us virtually. Thank you. It's a great morning to be here in person as well. It's a great weather today, too. But thank you for joining us. We're going to have Tom Sadler here today with Tom Sadler and Associates talk about social media analytics, which is an interesting topic. There's so much to go into that. Before we introduce our speaker in his presentation, I want to introduce our bold speaker partners, Texas Security Bank. And we have Melissa Barella here today, and she will introduce our speaker. Before I hand it over to her, just a quick reminder to those that are here in person, we will hand over the mic if you have a question at the end of this presentation. And for those who are virtual, please use the chat feature and we will transmit those questions over to Tom. So I'm going to hand it over to Melissa.
Good morning, everyone. It feels great to be back in person, doesn't it? So just a little bit of who we are and what we do. Texas Security Bank, commercial bank that focuses on owner-managed business. The heart for continued education, reason why we're all here today. So along with that, along with the Bold Speaker Series here, we also hold one in our Farmers Branch location. And then we also have what is called the TSB Academy. The Academy is a program that targets overall leadership development. The course is about a year long. Throughout the course, we bring in field experts to educate on various topics, such as tax planning, accounting, IT, anything that can help you run your company more effectively. Overall, the program offers about 50 hours of instruction. So again, thank you so much for the Garland Chamber for partnering up with us for the Bold Speaker Series. Now for our speaker, Tom Sadler with Tom Sadler and Associates. Tom is a Vietnam veteran, thank you so much for your service, who has collected over 40 years of marketing and sales experience. Before developing Tom Sadler and Associates, he owned a real estate company and a printing company. Tom Sadler and Associates help their clients with marketing strategy, video production, content creation, branding, and website development. Tom currently serves on the board of the Dallas Builders Association and the Texas Association of Builders. He uses his experience and connections to provide his clients with dedication and support. Tom, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Okay, thanks for coming. Today I want to talk to you about social media, and I want to talk to you about strategy, how you should do it, why you should not so much why you should do it, but how you should do it, and come up with some kind of a program to kind of let everybody know, because there's just a lot of moving targets when it comes to social media and strategy and how you do it. Some people just post. Some people put a lot of things on social media without even thinking about it. But you need to really sit down and come up with a program for what you're gonna do as far as social media goes. As Melissa said, I've been doing this a long time, not necessarily social media, but marketing and sales. That's what I've done my entire career. And you're probably asking, if you're taking a look at me, you can all see me, what's an old guy like this know about social media? Looks like you might have had a phone at some time that had a cord on it, and I did. But what I know about social media is a fair amount. But what I really know about social media is the two young ladies sitting over here, is Olivia and Athalia. Those are the folks that actually implement and do what I talk to people about all the time. I don't actually do any of the posts, I don't create any of the posts, I don't do any of that. The two of them do that, and that's what they do all day, every day. And that's what makes our clients happy. Because if they're depending on me to do it, I'm probably not going to get it done. In fact, when I owned a printing company for 20 years, and when I owned that printing company, I hired this out because I didn't have time to do it. I had a company to run. I had customers to call me. I had jobs for me to get out. So I never had a chance to do it. I hired it out. And so that's how I learned a lot about what social media was. Today, I'm just going to talk to you about some strategies and things to think about when you're doing social media. Like, what's the purpose of a social media campaign? You want to come up with some kind of a strategy that's going to help you build brand awareness, get some more reach, gain traffic to your website, or gain leads. You got to decide what is it going to be about. It could be just brand awareness. Tell me I got to talk louder folks on the virtual. It's got to talk about brand awareness. Is like nobody needs a plumber today, but I'm sure we all know who Ben Franklin Plumbing is. You know, we know who Milestone Electric is. All those companies spend a lot of money just on brand awareness. You might not need it today, but when you do need them, you want who they are, so you can call them. Or you might be wanting to get leads to make more sales. So you got to decide what it is you want to do and how you're going to do it. And then the other thing, are you trying to sell a service or a product? Those are two really big different things. If you're selling a service like, and printing is a service, house cleaning is a service, those are kind of services. If you're selling t-shirts or tennis shoes or suits or whatever, it's a whole different strategy, a whole different mindset. My company basically does business to business marketing. We don't do much business to consumer. That's a whole different thing to try to figure out. If you're selling t-shirts or tennis shoes or belts or whatever, you're on the internet doing a lot of different things. Your social media campaigns can be on. It'll be the same, but you're gonna have a different audience and different market that you're going after. So you got to figure out, and you know that, but just when you're thinking about your strategy, putting your plan together, is it a business or is it a service? And figure out what you want to say. And then, what kind of social media are you currently doing? A lot of clients that we talk to, they are posting something online, something on Facebook, something on Twitter, something on Instagram or LinkedIn or whatever. And they usually don't have a plan about it. They're just posting it to be posting, which basically is just giving them some awareness. That's all we're really trying to do. And when you're posting on Facebook, your posts are going to get seen by the people that are friends with you and people that are following them. They're not going to get seen. If you want people to see you outside your network, you've got to spend some money. You're going to have to spend some money on Facebook advertising, spend some money on LinkedIn or whatever to get outside that reach. And we'll talk about analytics when we get further through the presentation. And also, if you have questions while we're doing this, just go ahead and ask them now, since we got small audience here and online. So. And then the other type is, what type of social media following do you have right now? If you're going to start doing a social media campaign, you got to figure out where you are right this minute. So after you've done it for 30 days or 90 days, you can go back and see if you've gone up, if you've gone down, if you got better, got worse, or whatever. We do a lot of website updates and website redesigns. Some of it we do, some of it I work with Guy Lawson on some other websites, and him and I collaborate together on it. But what I tell people when they first call me and they want me to do something on their website or change it or do something else, is, well, the first thing I need to do is I need to get access to your website. I need to see where you're at right now, what kind of following you have, what's on your website. Are we going to increase the SEO? What are we going to change to make it better? I need to know where you are right now, so when we do fix it or change it, we can figure out in 6 months or 2 months if we've gotten better or gotten worse. So you always have to know where you're starting from and what you're doing at the current time. And then come up with an overall goal for the social media campaign. Decide if you're going to prioritize leads, brand awareness, or followers. All of those things are 3 things you need to figure out. If you're trying to get leads, your campaign's going to be run a little bit different than if you're trying to build brand awareness. Brand awareness is just if people don't know who you are, if they can't find you, then they're not going to be able to do business with you. And a lot of companies spend a lot of money just on brand awareness because the chances of, unless you're selling retail stuff, I say like business to consumer, you don't, like I said a minute ago, you don't need a plumber right this minute. You don't need a house cleaning service necessarily right this minute. So you build brand awareness so that when people are thinking about that, they remember you, you keep putting your message out there, people keep seeing it. So when it comes up at the time that they need you, they know where to find you and they can get a hold of you. Or if you want leads for your sales department, if you're just trying to get more people to interact, say, I need that now, you run a different kind of campaign to build leads right this minute. Or if you're just trying to gain followers, just trying to get people to follow you, which again is another way of building brand awareness, but building your reach. You just want more people to know who you are, what you do, so they can refer you to friends. And what's the purpose of using a social media campaign? This is probably one of the bigger takeaways from here. It gives you an overall plan of what you can, it's consistent, it's measurable, and it's repeatable. That's what you have to have. You have to be consistent with social media. I tell people on social media, there's two choices. Get on or get off. If you do it part-time, it's going to hurt you more than it'll help you. So if you're going to post something on social media, figure out a schedule and say, if you're going to post once a month, post once a month. Just be consistent. If you're going to post twice a week, post twice a week. Most of our customers, we post twice a week. But if the first thing people are going to do when they do see you or they get referred by you, do you know who Guy Lawson is? First thing you're going to do, you're going to go to social media pages. They'll go to Facebook first, see what he's doing, what's he posting, what's he saying, and then if they have any more interest after that, then they'll go to his website. But the website is not, it used to be the opposite, the end all, everybody went to the website, they're going to go. Now they go to your social media posts to see what you're doing today, right now, because the website pretty much can be, for most companies, a lot of it's just static unless they're posting blogs or putting articles out there. So, and the fact that you're on social media and you're not posting, they don't think, well, he must be busy. They start thinking, what's going on over there? Is this guy still in business? Is he still doing anything? So just be consistent on that. And then if it's working for you, when you do this plan, if it's repeatable, then you can just keep doing it and you should be getting the same results. What is your primary target audience? The main person who has the buying power, parents, caregivers, dog owners, grandparents, whoever. Most people don't know who their target audience is. They know who they want to sell to, but they don't know who their audience is. An example of that is, let's just say you own a company and you're in your own office complex and you have a janitorial service. The owner pays for the janitorial service, and that's who you want to sell to. The person you want to get to is the office manager, because she's the one that knows that the janitorial service is not working well. That's the one that the employees go to and say, hey, what's going on with these people? They're not in the trash anymore. Bathrooms aren't as clean as they used to be. What's happening? And if she knows that, she goes to the owner and says, look, we might need to take a look at janitorial service. I've seen these people on Facebook for the last 6 months. Go ahead and give them a shot. Let's give it a try. And then the owner makes a decision and says, yes, we're going to buy that. But so your audience it's not just the CEO or the owner of the business. It's also somebody inside that company that knows what's going on and has the power to go to that person and say, this is what we need to do. Then who's your secondary audience? HubSpot says the secondary audience is comprised of people who aren't the most likely to buy a product or service, but are still the second most important. Kids, people receiving gifts on Mother's Day, whatever. I had a conversation with a guy in California who sells skateboards. And I asked him, I said, who's your market? He said, it's 14-year-olds to about 22. That's my market. And I said, okay. And he said, that's who I want to advertise to. I said, that's fine. And I said, but have you ever thought about also going after 35 to maybe 60-year-old people, because that's the parents and the grandparents who actually have to make the buy a skateboard for their birthday or whatever. So it just depends. There's two audiences there he has. If he just markets to the young kids, then they have to go to the parents to say, I need this skateboard, or I want that baseball glove or bat or whatever. Or if they were advertising to the parents see it, they're going to buy it for the birthday, for Christmas, or whatever. So there's more than just one target audience building this buyer persona. So think about who you want to sell to, but also think about who has the most influence on getting that sale made. And then developing a buyer persona gets to know the details about your audience. Here's the details to know about your target audience when creating your buyer persona. Socio-demographic, gender, age, level of education, employment status, professions, marital status, total number of persons living in a household, living arrangements, geographic, whether urban, regional, or around the country, and then psychographics is values, desires, goals, interests, and lifestyle choices. When you go into these social media platforms, you go into, when you're starting to build your audience, you can go into Facebook, all of them, and they've got drop, and you go into where you're trying to build that audience, you go in there and you can choose their age, their gender, their likes, their dislikes. Now, that doesn't mean they're gonna buy anything from you, that doesn't mean they're gonna come to your website or anything like that, but it does mean they've seen it. And if you've done your homework and gotten the right target audience, then that should help you get the results that you want to get. So that's important in figuring out who your audience is and what you're going to do as far as, when you build your post, how's it going to look, what's it going to say, and are you hitting your right audience? Behavioral patterns, likes, dislikes, what they care about, what do they want, what do they need? It's just like, likes, dislike, that again goes back to, do they like cooking, do they like shopping, do they like baseball, do they like golf, what is it they're interested in? Do they like charity events? What do they care about? Some people go on and they want to buy something that's built out of recyclable material. They only want to deal with companies that have a green initiative. So you got to figure out what their likes are, and it's all on Facebook. Facebook has a pretty in-depth look at who we are and what we do. Because sometimes it's scary what's on there, but you can go on Facebook and say, I want to advertise to people that have an anniversary in May, wedding anniversary in May, and it'll tell you how many people. You can also then go in there and say, okay, I want to know of those people who have friends that have anniversaries in May. And if I'm connected to you, and you have an anniversary in May, and I have an anniversary in May, if we're connected, they're going to find you, they're going to find me. And that's how it's just, so you can drill down a lot in this demographic and who you're trying to reach. What do they want? What do they need? What are they looking for? This is a big one here. Take a look at your business competitors. It could be a local business nearby, an online company that sells a similar product or service and has a similar target market. If you're in the cleaning business, or if you're in the remodeling business, or if you're in selling t-shirts or whatever, look at who your biggest competitors are and see what they're doing and see if it's working. The way you can tell if it's working is go on the comments section and see what people are saying. Online, people are not shy to post. If they like your company, don't like your company, had a good experience, had a bad experience. So you can go in there and see what it's doing. So if you've got a big competitor that's got a lot of money, go see what they're doing. See how much, you can see how much money they're spending. You can see a lot of things on there. I've dealt with clients over the years that some spend $1,000 a month on Facebook. Some spend $2,000 a month on Facebook. Now, that sounds like a lot of money, and it is. It's the first $2,000 that's the leap of faith. That's the one you got to spend to decide if you made $8,000 in sales off that $2,000. And if you do, then you'll probably spend, well, if I got this many sales for $2,000, how much would I get for $2,500? And you might start up in the ante because there's companies out there that are literally spending $100,000 a month on online advertising. It's not uncommon for people to spend that kind of money, but they know their market, they know their demographic, they know who their buyer is, and they know what they're going to get from it. So they don't have a problem spending $5,000 a month to get $30,000 a month in sales. That's what it does. So, but like I said, that first month, you've done all your research, you've got your buyer persona down, you've got your demographic down, you know what you're going to do. And you decide, okay, I'm going to spend $5,000. That's the one that's the leap of faith. And once it starts working, and you might have to do that for a couple of months before you figure out if it's working. So that's just a leap you got to take. Who is your main competition? Like I said, what social media platforms use? What time of day do they post? We do a lot of on this. What time of day do they post? Certain people are active at certain times on the internet when they look at a post and all this. We do a lot of newsletter marketing for our clients online through Constant Contact. We'll send out 5,000 newsletters to the customer's database. And since we're doing it, most of our clients that we're doing the newsletters, I've got a couple that are national, so we post around noon. So the people on the West Coast are opening up at 10, and people on the East Coast are opening up at 2 o'clock. So we kind of figured noon is a pretty good time. So we post that, or we send that newsletter out, and then it takes about immediately as people start opening, I get information back of who they are, what they're doing, and that. But after about a week, it's pretty much run its course. I go through there and I download the data that says you had a 25% open rate. And I get a list of everybody that opened that email because they're in the database so they know who they are. And then it tells me how many people clicked through the website. And maybe going through the website, there was 5% of those people that went to the website. I know who they are. And another piece of information they give us is what time did they open it? And that's a pretty interesting situation because you send it out at noon, so it's 10 a.m. on the West Coast, 2 a.m. on the East Coast, and 11 and 1 in the middle. And people open at 2 a.m. in the morning. People open at 6:30. People open at 11 o'clock at night. And I think, why would somebody open something at 2 o'clock in the morning? Well, they were up. You know, you just don't know. Used to, you woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning, you couldn't sleep. You couldn't walk down to your home office or your kitchen table, pull out your laptop, go online because there was no online. You just woke up and said, "Gee, I gotta figure out how to go back to sleep." But today, people get up, if they're awake, go check their email at 2 o'clock in the morning. It's just a habit. We reach over, grab our phone, and click on it, and see if anybody sends us an email. It's not so bad if you get an email at 2 in the morning. It's bad if you answer the email at 2 in the morning. I wouldn't do that. But you know, people say, you know what time people post? That gives you a better idea. It's okay. Well, maybe I need to send this letter out at this time, or maybe I need to make my post at 4 in the afternoon instead of 10 in the morning. Just depends. And what type of content are they posting? Take a look at what your competitors are posting. See if it's working for them. And what are people saying about them? What's working? What isn't? That's where I said people are going to make comments on their social media posts, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. They will make comments. We've had clients that have had some bad comments about them on Yelp and on different areas. And our advice to them is comments get pushed down as more comments come in. So you have to get more good comments to drive that one further down so nobody sees it anymore. And that's just what you have to do. And sometimes people just get irritated. They go online and make a post. Nothing you do about it. It could be true. It could be not true. It doesn't matter. They post it. It's there. So you try to call them and see if they'll, give you a better review or whatever, but that tip doesn't work because at that point they're kind of mad at you for whatever reason. It doesn't matter if it's a good reason to be mad at you, a bad reason, or no reason. There's something to say. Think about what type of content you like to create based on all the information you gather on your target audience and your competitors. And that is just figure out once you know, what am I going to post? What am I going to try to do? What am I trying to sell? How do I want to talk to them about it? What do I want to say? What are the main points you're trying to convey to the audience with the social media campaign? You want to show the values of the company. Think about what you like the first impression to be when you give a lot back to charity. You want to know that you work with kids, you underprivileged kids. You want to know that you work with schools. Whatever, just whatever you're doing community-wise or philanthropically, let them know about that. Whatever you want that first impression to be, that's what you want to be there for. You give a discount for being late, whatever. Just whatever you want your company to know about. What you want them to know about your company. Then you got to think about the voice you're trying to resonate with your buyer persona. And we talked about this yesterday. Daycare services versus the Texas Hammer. We all know who the Texas Hammer is. Do you really want that ad telling this is the best place to send your kids during the day while you're at work? If he was doing your advertising for you, you got a kid with a problem, well, they back talking to you, send them to us, we'll figure it out. At 5 o'clock in the afternoon, they'll be great. Probably don't want to say that to them. So figure out what kind of voice you're going to talk about. How are you going to message that to the people to make them understand that you're a good company, you want to help them out, and you want to be the best you can get them what they need. What type of campaigns are you going to run to engage your audience? Think about your ideal customer and what they're most likely to respond to. And types of content, if you clear, if you got customers that like to take polls, if you've done the research, you've got clients that are interested in contests, informative posts, conversations about trending topics, giving back to the community, giveaways, videos, services offered, discounts. That's going to come in the research and figuring out, and you'll get to know, you have an audience now, you have a base of customers now, you know what they like, you just got to build on that. So you figure out what it is. Some people just like to take polls. You know, you're smarter than a fifth grader, answer these 5 questions. You'll get people to do it. And that just tells you a little bit something about them, who they are, what they do. Giving back to the community. Tell them what you're doing. There are a lot of companies, there are a lot of people today that they really want to do business with companies that are giving back to the community and helping out and saying, you know what, they're just not a corporate company or a business just taking from the community, they're giving something back. So that's what I want to do. I want to deal with somebody like that. So if you have some charity that you give money to or that you support, put it out there. If your employees are doing something, volunteering somewhere, put that out there. Let people know what you're doing. A lot of people just want discounts. So just run a discount program or whatever, see how that works for a lot of companies. And then aside from creating content, support also engage with the audience. Likes, reshares, commenting, hashtags, call to actions. You want people to like your page. You know, that's going to build more likes, and if they like it, and if you want somebody else. I saw so-and-so's website, that was kind of a neat idea, a neat card, or whatever. I'm going to send that to Melissa and let her take a look at it. Melissa likes it, she might start following the page, she might like the page. It's all about, that's building organic growth. That's just getting people out there. If you're doing this organically, that's spending money. That's just getting people out there to know who you are, what you do, and just building up that community that's watching you and following. It'll turn into, at some point, it'll turn into sales, or it'll turn into whatever you're looking for. Commenting on your post, you want people to like it, you want people to make a comment about it. I do that a lot. I've got people that I'm connected with that send out all different kinds of posts, and sometimes I'll like them, sometimes I'll comment about them. So if you like it, comment. That just builds their brand, builds their awareness of people knowing who they are. And if I like it, someone says, well, Tom likes it, might be pretty good. If Guy likes it, maybe it's okay. I think I'll start following these people. And then you start getting, that's when you start building that big group of people online. Hashtags are important for searching. You need to know which hashtags to use to get people to come to your web, or to get people to find you, number one. Then that hashtag will lead them back to your website, or lead them where you want them to go. If it's the blog on your website, it's an article on your website, or if it's employee appreciation on your website, that tag will lead them to where you want them to go. And then call to action. For a free estimate, click here. For a 10% discount, click here. Or for 10% discount, put a discount. That's just getting people to do something. Because if you do not have a call to action on there, people aren't going to say, I think I need to go to their website and see if there's a discount. Or I think I need to go to the website and see if they got this in extra large. So you've got to have some call to action on it about what you want them to do. And then it's important to create content that encourages engagement. So you can have call to action, but articles, blogs, images, videos, GIFs, these all drive traffic. Videos drive more traffic on social media and the internet. Video is worth a lot. Video is like a 45-second, a minute, 10-second video, just a snippet to get them interested in going somewhere else, to your website, and you might send a blog or whatever. And you can do a video with your cell phone. The iPhone 12, I did a presentation a few months ago, and we showed a commercial grade video that was actually done with an iPhone 12 for everybody. It was shot with an iPhone 12, it was edited with an iPhone 12, and it was put online with an iPhone 12. iPhone 12 Pro is just great. Those iPhones, the cameras on those iPhones are probably better than the cameras that Apple spent a lot of money on that. So you can do pretty much anything. Take your iPhone and just go out and have somebody hold it, make sure they hold it horizontally, and shoot you. And as far as what you want to say, it's just a little 10-minute section about, hey, we're out here today at such and such. It's a run for cancer or whatever. I just want to let you guys know we're out here doing it, and you just post it online. And sometimes the more homegrown a video looks, the better it is. If it looks like it's really, slick. Articles and blogs. Those are big for being found because Google changed the algorithm back in March and said, not March, a couple of years ago on blogs and articles, they said, we are going to now post, we're now going to give people a higher rating on the search engine if they're blogging or putting out current content about what's going on today, not what was going on, 6 months or a year ago. You don't really change your website every day. You don't change your hours. You don't change your mission statement. You don't change, what services you offer necessarily. So the only thing you really change is blogs or articles. So just blog about something on your article, on your webpage. It could be a blog about giving back, giving to some charitable organization. It could be a blog about your company. It could be a blog about an article you read that has to do with your industry, and you can point people back to that article. Say, I've read this in the Wall Street Journal. I'm going to take a look at it. But that's what's going to get you ranked higher on the food chain on Google. And something Google did do in March of this year, because 65% of the people that go online with some mobile device, whether it's a tablet or an iPhone. If your mobile website is not optimized correctly, they're going to ding you and push you down in the search engine. So you need to go take a look at your website on your mobile app and make sure, because it's a different configuration on a mobile app than it is on what you see on the desktop. But Google just decided that many people open up. If you haven't taken the time to optimize it the correct way, we're going to ding you on that. And then based on your budget, microphone, type of content, timeline, choose what social media channels will work for you best. And that's where you sit down and figure out. We've got clients that spend $50 a week on Facebook. It just depends on what you want to do. This one guy, he's a local company. They're a manufacturer's rep for high-end appliances, plumbing fixtures. We spend $50 a week with them. And we've encircled the Dallas-Fort Worth area. We put in the age group, the education, income level, and all that. Because he's a little bit higher end, moving people to him. We've got another builder that we spend $50 a week. He's a custom home builder, building $8.5 million houses a year or a month. And price range of 8.5. So we're spending $50 a month and just targeting certain areas of town that he knows those type of houses. If you come with a social media calendar, things to consider in the calendar is if you're going to run a social media campaign, put a calendar together and put the days of the week you're going to post, how many times a month you're going to post, and put a date on it, and follow that calendar and post at those times. Because if you don't put it down in writing, it won't happen. Post twice a week. Well, which 2 days? It's Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever. But you got to put it in writing. It's not going to. You're never going to get it done. You will never follow through. Often you post. Statistics say, I've known this for a long time. Once somebody's seen your ad or your marketing piece 7 times, or whatever they are. Realtors came up with that. Actually, Keller Williams came up with that years ago with postcards. We're sending mailers, postcard mailers to neighborhoods to list houses or get sales. And they ran some tests. And once somebody saw that postcard, once it come to their house 7 times, they had no idea how long they'd been getting it. And Keller Williams would tell you, mail one when you first start, mail one about every 28 days. So in about 6.5 months, they'll have got 7 postcards from me. And somebody say, how long have you been getting them? I don't know, just a long time. They just saw it on, and then you go to once a quarter or once every other month. But once they've seen it 7 times, they know who you are. And then what's the duration of your campaign? Then you go back through and you look at the analytics. You back on the analytics, make some changes. Duplicate ads, small changes, run a test, do whatever, but just take a look at what's working, what's not working, what the analytics say, and then figure out what you can do from there. And how many people were reached? These are just things to make sure that it worked out, it got what you wanted, but how many people reached, how many followers you gained, how many new relationships did you develop, how many comments or reshares you received, how many links were clicked. how many leads are generated. That's what most people want. You know, did I get any sales out of this? How much money did I make? I spent 10 grand and I make 12. And then what changes in the strategy needs to be made to keep on track with the goals. And that's when you take a look at sales. We did pretty good on this one. Picked up a few clients. This is what they liked. This is what they didn't like. Let's go back and tweak. And you might run 2 ads at the same time, see which one performs better, and see how you're going to change that. And then, you know, just things to look at. Does the copy need change? You can change the design, change the headline, body copy, call to action. What type of media channel you're on, frequency posted, or the time of day. We post twice a week for most of our clients. These 2 ladies over here, they design those posts, they write those posts, they put the hashtags on those posts, and we post them. Our customer has not too much say in that. We know who they are, what they do, what they want to do, and we post for them, and they're okay with that. They can look at it. We're posting this week. We're scheduling posts this week for next week. Our client can go on their Facebook page, click on there, say, boom, I'm gonna take a look at it. Yeah, I like it. No, I don't. Change this, change that. But we do that all for them because they don't have time to do it. If I was waiting on them to approve last week. And then you want to go back and take a look at translations. And just go on your business Facebook account, business.facebook.com, go to your business suite, and you're going to click on Insights. This is what you're going to see on the analytics. This is one of our clients. He's the custom home builder I was telling you about. And this was probably for about a month. On his paid advertising, he reached 112,000 people. Facebook, 51,000, Instagram, 28,000. Now, he's a little tricky to post for because he's a builder. And Facebook got sued over discriminatory practices with housing sometime back. And so we have to be real careful about what we say about this guy. We can't really mention housing. We can't segment by income. We can't segment by anything. We can't segment by profession or whatever. So it's really kind of, we got to walk through some landmines to get him on the internet in the correct way. Because the minute we, like he builds in a certain zip code. But once we put that zip code down there, and if I put 35 to 45-year-old people, then I'm eliminating everybody else who can't do that housing. That's not fair. So we have to be real careful about what we do with them. But you'll get to see all the analytics that you've got. It's pretty easy to find. And with that, I'm done. We're open for questions. Whatever. Yes, sir.
What's passive posting?
I would call that just kind of willy-nilly posting, no plan of action or anything. You're just sitting there like, I'm going to post something today. You know, I saw something I like, and you post it. It's just it's no plan of action, no nothing. You just do it. So, and there's a lot of that going on, but you know, and social media is tough. It's not, like I said, I don't convince people to get on social media because it's not a quick fix. It's something you got to do over time. It's going to take some time to figure out who you are, what your buyer persona is, what your message is, and that kind of stuff. So it's not something you can post something. I've convinced 2 people to get on social media, and it both lasted about 4 or 5 days. I'm not getting anything out of this because they didn't know what they were going to get. There was no expectation. They didn't really think, they didn't know. So I don't convince anybody anymore. I'd say, look, here's what it is. Here's what it does. Here's what you might want to think about. If you want to do it, fine, I can help you. If you don't want to do it, that's okay, fine. I'm okay with that too. And I'll show you how to do it. We don't have to do it for you. If you say, look, I've got a lady in the office, she can do the posts for me every week. Will you help us come up with a strategy? We'll help you with a strategy. We'll help you with everything, and you can do it yourself. And if you want us to help you monitor it and see what's working, we can help you there too. We don't have to do it for you. Some things I charge for, some things I don't. It just depends on, you know, sometimes it's not enough time for me to even write an invoice. So I say, look, tell you, I'll do this no charge, I'll give it to you. You got to write me a review. I don't want to bad.
Tom, you mentioned like the time of day to post, but I would say different days that are the best days to post. What would you
That depends on after you've run a campaign, what days to post, what time to post, what's a good time of day, week, whatever. Once you run a campaign and kind of see when people, what time they're reacting to it, then you come back, because I know you guys look at that all the time. They change the time of day they're posting on Facebook for different clients. And we'll see something, and we'll just try it. Let's try it for 4 o'clock this afternoon. Or on the weekend, because that's sometimes too, that's when people take a look at stuff. You know, they're not maybe they're not surfing the internet at the office, which they probably are, but you know, so it's just, but you just look at it and make kind of a judgment on it. There's no other questions, Andrew, that's it.
There's a few that I was looking through with your presentation. How do you find your competitors online? Like if you have a product that's very new, that you believe is very new, that you're introducing to the community, how do you find your competitors online?
Typically, you can just Google your product or service or whatever it is, and you'll find it that way. You can go on Facebook and search Facebook. That's pretty easy to find. And once you find one company that's doing it, kind of get an idea of what it is, and then you'll start thinking about other companies that would. But that's pretty easy to find.
What is the exact definition of a hashtag? I mean, you mentioned that it's a tag, but how does it work?
That's going to be answered by one of these young ladies over here.
I'll try my best. So there's different types of uses for hashtags. So hashtag is pretty much the bounce word, as we all know. But nowadays it's kind of used for finding things that are kind of similar. I know on Instagram you can follow a hashtag. So like if you want to look at puppies, you can like just follow hashtag puppies. If you're trying to find like somebody who's selling French Mastiffs, you can probably just hashtag French Mastiffs for sale. It's just like a different way of searching for things that's kind of more specific. That's my definition.
And the last question was, you mentioned the Facebook Business Suite page. If you link your Facebook and Instagram, do they both show up
Yes.
on the page?
Yes.
And one other thing I didn't say anything about that up here. You should have a business Facebook account. A lot of people don't. I'm doing something for a guy right now that he's trying to sell a product online, which is a legit product. There's nothing wrong with it. He doesn't have a business Facebook. He called me for some help. And I said, okay, I'll take a look at it. And I said, you have a business Facebook account? He said, no. So everything was linking back to his personal page. And I looked at his personal page. I thought to myself, I would never call this guy from my house. That's just stuff that's just not going to happen. And so first thing we did with him is built him a Facebook business page, because the Facebook business page is where you want to put all your stuff about your business, what you do and all that, and not link it. I started a business Facebook page just so my family could be a part of it, because I didn't think anybody needs to see my nephews in a bonfire. That's what you're going to see if you're on your personal page. You'll see everything your family posts, good, bad, or different. Their political views, their social views, all that stuff. So that's why you want to have a business Facebook page to isolate yourself from that stuff.
You also can't run ads.
Yeah, you can't run ads on a personal page either. You have to have a business page. And you can like a page, but you can't friend a page. That's right. Good.
Well, there are no more questions in the chat.
Good.
Does anybody else have another question?
Thanks a lot.
All
Hope you learned
right,
something.
thank you, Tom. Thank you so much for your presentation. So we do have Tom's presentation and we are recording this, so I will send out the recording and the presentation to you later this afternoon. So if you would like to reference it in the future, you have that available to you. I also post all of the bold recordings are on our website. So if you missed one from March and you want to go back and look at it, we have that. We also have them on our YouTube page. So if you guys want to follow us and subscribe to our YouTube channel, you can always see all of our recordings from our events on there. So just a quick reminder before we conclude. today. We do have some events coming up. On Monday, June 28th, we will be hosting another Spark event. It will be in this venue if you want to come in person, or we will also have it virtually available for those who want to do that. We will feature Mayor Scott LeMay, and he's going to talk about Garland's development overview. So if you guys want to join, that will be next Monday, June 28th, from 10:30 a.m. to noon. And then for the next Bold event, since they're hosted every fourth Tuesday of the month, on July 27th, we will have Sebastian Sanchez with RHSB, and he's going to talk about business insurance. So you guys can find more information on our website, garlandchamber.com. You can register and view the details for the event. This concludes our event. Again, thank you, Tom, for being our speaker today. Thank you, Texas Security Bank, for being our partners for the Bold Speaker Series. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. You guys have a great day.